he building on culture, and I'm telling you about.
Oh, that you was fascinated with the language.
I'm fascinated with language because like so I grew up in Canarsie, Medina, and there's different language cultures. Like I grew up around. Exactly, my babysitter was Puerto Rican. Uh, my mother's best friend was a Puerto Rican woman that went on to be my sister's godmother. Um, there was Russians, there was Polish, there was Haitians, you know what I'm saying, Jamaican people,
All different cultures.
all different cultures all around. Like Canarsie was a melting pot, and I would see how different people, how the different cultures interacted with each other. As a child, there was a lot of prejudices amongst the cultures. But as I grew older and I got the knowledge of myself, I became very fascinated with the sounds, especially learning, how culture is a way of life and how much language and culture go hand in hand, right? And then you talking about translating 120 lessons. Me and this 85er was building on the Bible, and the Bible has been translated many times. You know what I'm saying? And you see how different words, different cultures, the different words mean different things.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like the word virgin in Hebrew really just is really a young woman.
Okay.
Doesn't necessarily mean she didn't have sex. You know what I mean?
Right.
She was just a young woman.
She's just a young woman.
Right. But then when you get to like the English culture, it means she never had sex. So that means that the science of the immaculate conception kind of like gets. You know what I mean? And like and actually the immaculate conception is really more rooted in Catholicism. So all these different cultures and different languages, they mean different things. So when you building on the different languages or the different dialects, because it's still Spanish, right? Puerto Rican and Dominican, still Spanish, but y'all words are different. Y'all say words different, and the dialect and the accents and the
accent, you can tell
it's different. I could barely tell. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't until I started going to more being in the Dominican Republic that I learned, okay, there's a little bit more. There's a difference. You see what I'm saying? But and the same thing with like Mexican, Cuban, Colombian.
So let me ask you something. While you was over there, God, did you experience any racial discrimination? Because I know that they're having a controversy about that nowadays on YouTube. That I know for a fact that a lot of them, they do not like Haitians for the reasons of that they were at war for. They got a history about that they were at war. And they had to liberate themselves from the Haitians because they ruled Santo Domingo for a lot of years.
And I was just doing an analysis that in the science of like Trujillo. They're saying Trujillo, how he was like, a half original man, but he was really trying to eliminate the black.
That's the science about the president Trujillo that you're speaking about. I also know find out some science about him that he was really like a brown seed brother, but when they used to go take pictures, he used to powder himself with white powder. And then he wanted all the models, that represent the country of Santo Domingo, the Dominican Republic, to be white. He was Europeanized and...
Right. And see, when I went there, it was interesting. This is the L signs, y'all. When I was out there, and I was, like I said, I was with a black woman, but she was Dominican. So she had more what they call out the Indio features, right? Right. She had, she was brown, a little darker than you, right?
Okay.
And she like we would go around and they see me because I'm a knowledge seed, and they was like, "What you doing with the Haitian?"
Ooh.
They asked me what you doing with the Haitian, but when I spoke, they got shocked. They was like, "Oh, he's American."
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times they look at my clothes and the way I dress, and like they could kind of tell. But when I spoke, it was more clear. It was like, "Oh, yo, he's 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 American. He's then they gave me a little bit more leniency, like okay, but whereas like when they thought I was Haitian, it was almost like they was about to form on me, like yeah.
They was gonna form Voltron.
Yeah, they was about to form.
Yeah,
like, yo,
I know the signs. I know the signs.
Oh, yo, you missing? Like they was like, yo, what you doing? What you doing with that Haitian? And
right.
Then when I'm like, oh, what they said?
Yeah.
And then they back up like, oh, he's speaking English.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So there is a lot of a lot of racial tension and cultural tension.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In the Dominican Republic. You know what I'm saying? The black woman that I was with, I was teaching her, and she learned that, you know, she knew because her father was my complexion.
Okay.
But her old earth was like, you know, more like your complexion.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so she understood that she was black, but she still had a lot of cultural pins in her head. You know what I'm saying? I had to go through a whole lot of.
I was getting into that, God, because it was interesting that you mentioned that, man, because when I was reading in the book, they said that half of the population that was married, you know what I'm saying, not married, but basically they forced their will on them was Spanish. The Spanish that came over there to the Dominican Republic, they had the Dominican woman, you know what I'm saying? So that's when they called that breed of Dominican mestizos. You know what I'm saying? That they all they have Spanish and they have black in them. You know what I'm saying? But they all original people. You see what I'm saying? They just don't understand the signs because nobody have ever really taught them the signs. You know what I'm saying?
If Mega did this.